Dark Souls is one of the best loved games of all time, and despite all the hardships the entire Souls series has put us through over the years, its influence on the gaming world can't be denied. It changed the way we looked at games and the way we thought about playing them. Players aren't the only ones enamoured with From Software's achievements though. Other developers are keen to heap praise on the studio too. Some by elaborating on or borrowing their mechanics, Lords of the Fallen, and some by including some small reference or homage in their own game world. Here's a handful of our favourites. Eurogamer's own Ian Higton detailed this find in his own video of the best Easter eggs of Fallout 4's Nuka World DLC. Leave Nuka World and head to the nearby town of Bradberton. On the south side, you'll find a shack that's lacking a roof but has a bunch of chairs inside, all facing an altar that features a sun and a bonfire. Kindle the bonfire and 3 stim packs will magically appear, a bit like replenishing your Estus flasks, wouldn't you say? Pull out the sword and 3 more stim packs will be granted. Cheers, guys. Overwatch's Eichenwald map is all centered around the ruins of a grand castle, which is something of a recurring setting in the Souls series. So it seems like Blizzard just couldn't help but sneak a reference into one of the castle's many twisting tunnels. Head this way and you'll encounter a bonfire tucked directly opposite a health pack. It's equally apt that this appeared right around the time that heroes were granted their first sitting emote, meaning that they can have a replenishing rest around the fire. Enemy respawns guaranteed. Shockingly, it turns out that bonfires are a bit of a recurring theme when it comes to Dark Souls references appearing in other games. The Witcher 3's last DLC, Blood and Wine, has one too. A bonfire hidden away in a cave that you can access during Beyond Hill and Dale, a mission featured on a branch of the main storyline for the expansion. After defeating the Cloud Giant boss, approach the castle, but instead of going through the arch, vault over the railing on the left side, drop down to the next ledge, and follow the path to a cave. Inside, there's a fire you can kindle with Geralt's Igni spell, and he'll even kneel for a rest as you do so. You can also grab the blade from the bonfire, not a coiled sword unfortunately, but a pretty decent level 46 weapon called Geschäft. Even the White Wolf isn't above praising the sun. So, yeah, basically all of the Easter eggs so far have been other games sticking a sword into a bonfire and calling it quits. But not so our next entry. Nope, that's done something completely different. It's taken a bonfire and stuck a rifle into it instead. Yep, Just Cause 3 gave Dark Souls' most iconic symbol its own twist in the Cauda region of the map on a lonely stretch of beach. And like other Easter eggs on this list, you can light it by pressing the action button. That's about all it does though. No Estus-inspired health packs or magic boosting swords here, so thanks anyway, Avalanche? A little knowing nod hidden deep within your game is cute and all, but some developers love Dark Souls so much that they've dedicated entire side quests to it. In Borderlands 2, with some careful navigation, you can find a little bonfire island located in the eastern part of the Caustic Caverns. There you'll find the lonely Solitaire, who is definitely a reference to Dark Souls' Solaire, as well as a white phantom hanging out nearby. Not only does Gearbox feature the classic Dark Souls bonfire, obviously, it also gives Solitaire an awkward, weird laugh. Which, as any Dark Souls player knows, is a mandatory if annoying voice line for any of its NPCs. But that's not all. In Borderlands 2's Tiny Tina DLC, Lost Souls is a side quest given by a crestfallen player, which is basically one big love letter to the Souls series. It has you lighting bonfires, collecting lost souls to unhollow the crestfallen player, and finally facing off against an invading phantom called Noob Killer. What else? From Software has some serious fanboys and fangirls at Gearbox. World of Warcraft is no slouch when it comes to featuring in-jokes and references to other games, so although this is kind of open to interpretation, it's pretty likely that the hostile level 91 warg Cracklefang, who hangs out in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, is a reference to the Great Grey Wolf Sif, a boss fight in the original Dark Souls. Guarding Artorias' grave and holding his greatsword in its mouth, Sif was one of the most memorable and definitely the most heartbreaking fight from that game. Thankfully, you'll feel a lot less guilty finishing off Cracklefang. Alright, so far we've seen a bunch of games that love the Souls series so much they've put a lot of time, effort and assets into tucking Easter eggs from that world into theirs. But text-only references deserve an honourable mention too, which is why we've bundled a couple together here. Also because they're so small, it's kind of a blink and you miss it scenario. So, first behold Destiny's effort, an upgrade slot in the Heart of the Praxic Fire chest armor piece called Praise the Sun. Destiny also features an emote called Praise the Gun, so evidently it's a big fan of that particular catchphrase. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is also a fan of it too. One of its trophies is called Praise the Run. Nice.
Let's go.
And finally, at the start of Killzone Shadowfall, you can find a poster for Dark Trolls, which kind of looks like a cross between Dark Souls and Shadow of the Colossus, complete with what looks like the official Dark Souls font. I would play that game in a heartbeat, by the way. Anyway, those are all the Dark Souls references I could think of, but have you got any others in mind? Let us know in the comments, and if you fancy it, do check out a couple of our other videos next. I definitely recommend watching Johnny try to teach Ian how to properly play Dark Souls for the first time. Frustrating and funny in equal measure. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, and thanks for watching.